Any question you would like to ask?
Master, let's see, how do I begin? How do I find the strength and the discipline to pick up the sword of meditation and to be able to use it in the fight to sever the mind from the world? And you see, I've been been finding myself getting caught up more in the physical world and climbing mountains or traveling or whatever. I'm finding myself enjoying the physical world more, and I was just wondering how. I always know that the answer is always meditation, but do I have any free will? I've always wondered about. I've heard you say before we have conditioned free will, or sometimes that we have no free will. Is it the right attitude to take to think that I can start to meditate, or I know it's all your grace, really, but
I think you are explaining Sant-mat in the nutshell.
Yes.
You see, Swamiji Maharaj calls it Sahaj Marg. Mean, slowly and slowly we have to conquer our mind. We cannot hurry in conquering our mind. Sardar Bahadur used to give a very beautiful example. If a Muslim cloth you throw on a thorny bush, if you try to pull it, it will be whole torn. If you pull it from every thorn slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, the whole cloth will be saved. So our mind is spread into the whole creation, not in this very birth, right from the beginning of the creation. So slowly and slowly we have to pull it back towards the eye center. And this detachment from the creation is the effect of meditation. We have not to pull it from this object or this face or that face. This automatically starts happening. We start losing interest in those objects, in those faces, in those activities, in those environments. Then mind starts getting absorbed into Shabad, into that light, into that bliss, into that peace. So slowly and slowly the effect starts on our mind of detachment. We shouldn't try to rush through, hurry through. The effect will be automatic.
It's for those of us who are fortunate enough to be able to die while living and detached from the physical body. Is there any way to avoid the pain that you feel? And let's say you're in a comfortable position lying down. Do you always feel the pain as you're detaching from the physical?
You see, I don't know what do you mean by pain. You mean the pain of detaching ourselves from the faces, or pain of withdrawing from the body?
The pain of withdrawing from the body.
You see, to some extent we have to bear it. But it is just in the beginning. Then you won't even know when you are able to withdraw back to the eye center. Then you won't be even conscious about the body. You feel this body doesn't belong to you at all. Somebody else is sitting in meditation and you are somebody else watching yourself. This is just to begin with. This pain doesn't last forever.
Thank you, Master.
Radha-swami, a few days ago you said in your childhood you were forced to sit in meditation. A year ago I asked you a question about my children and Sant-mat, and you said I shouldn't force them. Now I know I can't compare your childhood background with that of my kids, but I just want to know if I can force them a little bit, or I don't know.
I think you better not.
Yeah.
Because you see, you people, besides your house, You have no other, you see, you don't have that atmosphere of meditation anywhere outside. With us, even we go out of the house, the whole colony is full with, vibrates with meditation. So even outside, it will be the same atmosphere. Any home we walk in, it will be the same atmosphere. So we won't be thrown into some other atmosphere. And your position is very different. Your atmosphere in the Sasangi house is different when they go to schools, when they go to their friends. It's a very different type of atmosphere. They won't fit in unless it comes from them within. If you force them, then you will make them frustrated because they can't fit in outside. So everybody has their individual problems.
Thank you.
Maharaji,
Yes?
after my initiation, I said to my parents and to my relatives that they shouldn't give gifts to me or money anymore. But in the meantime, I started to accept things from my parents again, gifts. And as they are quite rich, sometimes the things they want to give to me, they offer to me, are also quite big, and I could not give such things to them back in return.
But what is the problem of accepting anything from your parents? They're your parents.
Yes, but somehow I like it because I know, especially my mother, she likes so much to give to me more than to have things for her own. But on the other hand, when I get it, I feel a tension and I have a bad consciousness. And I don't know. I was also talking to Satsangis about it, but I don't
You
come
see,
clear.
the sister idea is that we should not be burdened on anybody. And we are not burdened on our parents. They have brought us to this life. They have also some obligations. They have also some responsibilities for their children. They also see that their children live in comfort and don't have to undergo some hard life. They also feel something for their children. So there's no problem in accepting anything from your own parents. We shouldn't stretch these things too far as to break it. The idea is that we should not be a burden on anybody. We should live on our own earning, on our own living. But our parents are our parents.
Thank you very much. And before I went, the last words my mother said to me, give my best regards to Maharaji. So I didn't want, but now I did. Thank you.
Why didn't you want it? Because she's too good to you?
Radha
Yes.
Swami, Master.
Yes, please.
I was wondering if you could talk about the effect that negative thoughts have on an unborn child who's in the womb of the mother, and also how meditation would affect a child who's not born.
Well, sister, doctors can tell you much better. Much better, you see. They say that child is always affected by our thoughts. Child in the mother's womb, always affected by our thoughts, by our way of living. It definitely influences the child in that way. That's at least our Indian traditions are. They generally have saints' picture. When the girl is in a family where they have saints' picture in the house, in her room, they ask her to read some good books or, sayings of old saints, mistakes, just to influence. To what extent, I don't know. But that is what the doctors also feel. That's what it's generally believed. The rest, doctor can tell you better. I don't know about these things. Yes, please.
That's what I mean, beloved Master. I want to ask you a question. I'm an identical twin and always accustomed to share everything with my twins. So I want for you to comment about sharing our personal experience in the path with my twin or my husband.
The doctors can tell you better. I have no idea about twins and all that.
But like sharing what the experience that we have on the meditation.
You mean your experience also is the same?
Pardon me?
No, your twin sisters. You have a twin sister. And you say that you have same experience generally?
No,
Ah.
what I'm asking is about if you comment about sharing our experiences that we
With-
have
With each other?
with my twin or with my husband. So,
There's no necessity to share your personal experience with anybody.
thank you,
It is
Master.
your personal treasure. You should try to digest within and treasure it within.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Master. I would like to ask you if it's necessary to have a very straight back for the Simran and meditation. Does that mean all satsangis, when we are older, have straight backs to raise to
Sister,
the third eye?
from medical point of view, they say if the back is straight, we have less problem in the body. Spondylitis and all that, you see. If we, even in the office, when we sit, our chair is always straight. It's not a very reclining chair in sitting in office. And even in meditation, if back is straight, it doesn't create much problem in the body. Only from the health point of view. Otherwise, you can sit in any comfortable posture.
You can sit in any comfortable position and still reach the third eye center?
Body has nothing to do. Posture has nothing to do. As I said, this posture is only from the health point of view. Ultimately, you will not be even conscious of your body, in what way you are sitting. But from the health point of view, it's better to sit in that way if one can. Since you people cannot sit in the lotus position, so it's better you can sit in any comfortable posture. It's immaterial.
So the back does not have to be perfectly straight as long as the...
No, not mathematically, but generally, normally, we should try to keep our back straight, you see, in our daily works also. We sit in a dining chair, our back of a chair is always straight. Your office chair back is always straight. It keeps us alert. That is the only idea.
Also, I would like to ask you, you said at one time that we are protected during meditation, during the actual sitting and meditation. Did you mean that physically? In other words, could a building fall down around us and...
No. Protected in a sense that soul is not allowed to go astray within.
I see. So we are not protected physically, necessarily.
No, there's nothing to do with physically, anything, you see. Our soul is not allowed to go astray within, anywhere. The Master is always there to keep us straight, protected.
Which has nothing to do with physical
No,
karmas.
nothing to do.
Thank you, Master.
Hello,
Yes, please carry on.
okay. Hello, Father Maharaj. I have this question I've been wanting to ask for a long time, and it came to my mind last night. Since I've been a satsangi, most satsangi problems is about meat. Our friends, they eat meat, or our family eat meat. And they usually ask them questions. They ask this question why we don't eat meat. So we try to explain what the Bible tells them. So there's certain parables in the Bible that shows we should be vegetarians, which you know that already. But they always catch me with one phrase. They said, the Lord blessed everything. If you pray over your food, the food is blessed. Can you comment on that?
Well, we should not unnecessarily discuss what we want to do. If the other person is really a seeker, you can discuss with the person, you can explain to the person. Otherwise, people who are not going to be convinced, there's no sense in discussing things with them at all. You can say it doesn't suit me from the health point of view. Everybody is not a meat eater in this world.
Right.
Many people, those who are not satsangi, even they are vegetarians.
Right.
It doesn't suit me.
Okay.
It doesn't agree with me. Why argue with everybody? What is the necessity to give explanation to everybody?
Well, they bug you sometimes. They just bug you. They just say, tell me about your past. I said, well, there's nothing to tell. Now, if you're serious, then I'll talk to you about it. Then it says, okay.
There's no necessity to argue with anybody. It has to come from within for everyone.
Right.
Our arguments are not going to satisfy anybody at all.
Thank you, Father Maharaji.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. By the way, the climate is too much like Houston, Texas for my taste. We have the same. I wanted to ask about prasad, and if we would have an opportunity to have some prasad to take back to our homes.
Well, you can keep it here. I will just see it. Then you can take it home. There's no problem.
Okay. I'll find out
You
when we can do this.
discuss with the management. They will tell you.
Also, how should it be partaken of? How is prasad used to get the benefit from it?
By mouth?
Just eating it.
How do you take other things? How do you eat other things? Then,
Okay.
by
And,
same way,
we can offer this to other members of our family or friends that are not satsangi.
what was the sense for that? What is the advantage to them? To what advantage you want to share it with others?
Well, this is what I'm trying to learn about.
It's always personal.
Okay, thank you.
Master, I wanted to ask two questions, one about food and one about drink. Is it okay to eat food that has been prepared with alcohol in it and then baked or cooked? Does the alcohol get burned off and is it okay?
Well, as far as possible, brother, we should try to avoid such things.
Okay, and in the United States, they sell beverages that are called so-called non-alcoholic beverages, both near beer and non-alcoholic wine. But if you read the ingredients at the very bottom, it has a slight percentage in, so is
Well,
that...
that is for you to see whether it is alcohol or not.
Okay, thank you, Master.
You should not be deceived by the name, but you should go by the ingredients, you see.
Thank you.
I have a spiritual question.
Yes, please.
When we experience something in this world, we always have automatic thoughts about that thing, about its function, where it comes, what it does for us, where it comes from, and so on and so on. So when we experience hearing the Shabd, should we suppress these automatic thoughts that where the Shabd come from, what it does for us, what it means? Should we suppress these thoughts? Should there be no thought at all? Or should we let these thoughts?
Well, if brother, you will go on thinking about these things, you won't be able to concentrate at all.
No, I'm finished concentrating. I'm finished my Simran. I'm hearing the Shabd.
Then just hear it. Because hearing to the Shabad means 100% concentration. If your mind is still thinking about all these things, it means concentration is not complete there. It is finding an excuse to get out
Well,
of
for
that.
example, I may have a thought like, well, the Shabd is going to take me to the place where it comes from. It's taking
This thought you can explain to yourself even before sitting in meditation. But when you are in meditation, just forget about everything. Just be in touch with the Shabad.
Well, yes, and the Shabd, for example, the Shabd may be very sweet. It may be very enchanting. If we experience such a Shabd, and of course we are attracted by it, is that sufficient to be convinced that it is the Creator?
No, it's not, itself is not sufficient. It's just a beginning. At a later stage, you will be able to know that it is the Creator.
So actually we get a different conviction
Yes,
than just sweetness.
naturally.
Than just sweetness. And
Naturally, at a much later stage.
Hello?
Yes,
I was wondering, is it true that when you die, the radiant form of the Master meets you when you die, if you are a satsangi?
it may or may not meet. It depends upon the individuals, whether we deserve it or not.
So it's not necessarily true that is it true then that if you do see the radiant form of the Master, your attachment to the world?
Well, if you have experienced the radiant form before dying, then definitely you will be met by the radiant form. But if you have not experienced it while living, then it may or may not come.
So what would happen if you died and hadn't seen the radiant form of the Master?
Well, you will find your place according to your karma, according to your spiritual progress within.
You have to meditate a lot for the radiant
That
form of the
is
Master
the
to
purpose of meditation.
Okay, thank you.
Master, could you please explain the meaning of blessing and what effect the blessing has on us and on things?
It just reminds you of your master, of the teachings, of your path, the way you have to live in life. This is only a way of remembering those things, so that you may attend to your meditation. Now it is for you to make use of their blessings by attending to your meditation. It is just a sweet reminder that you are a satsangi, you are on the path, and you have to live the Santmat way of life, not to do anything which you may go astray, and attend to your meditation. That is the Lord's blessing. Anything which can remind us of the teaching or keep us straight on the path, that is His blessing.
Master, I have a question about Dhyan. Since I've started practicing Dhyan, I notice that when I do that, the face of the Master changes, just like, in real life. And my question is it necessary to eventually have that fixed in the mind so that it doesn't move, or is it just naturally that it'll keep on moving?
You see, actually we try to associate our dhyan with outside activities. So we feel the face is changing. Because outside activities, face is always changing. But we should not associate our dhyan with outside activities. We should just feel our master is here at the eye center and we are doing Simran in his presence.
So it's the feeling more than the seeing.
Feeling. That keeps your attention there. And when you see the light, that will hold your attention there.
Thank you very much.
Master, what is the responsibility of a sponsor when 2 days before initiation you find out that the person has just had an abortion? What should the sponsor do or say?
The question is whether the person is a real seeker or not, how much you know about it, that's all. What else you can have responsibility? To your best of your ability to know, that's all. Nobody knows anything about anybody.
Okay. And the other question is, what is love?
What is love?
What is love? What is, how?
I think you can feel it better than describe. You can experience it better rather than to express it by words.
So don't worry about it.
Word is a very poor expression of love. It's something which cannot be described, which can only be experienced. It is to become another being, to losing your own identity, to become another being. That is love.
Thank you.
Father, I would like to ask you if Sanmat is a religion. I would like to ask you if Sanmat is a religion.
Well, sister, we are trying to keep it out of any religion boundary. It is not a religion at all. It's a pure mystic teachings which we have to follow. But practically, every religion starts like that. Mystics only share their experience, share their spiritual knowledge with the seekers, put them on the path. But when they depart, we give ourselves to outside rituals and ceremony and try to arrest their teaching into small organizations. And slowly we become so rigid as to give them name of a religion. Then slowly it starts as a religion. This is the fate of every religion. No saint has ever laid the foundation of any religion. Neither Christ laid the foundation of Christianity, nor Muhammad laid the foundation of any Islam, nor Buddha laid the foundation of any Buddhism, nor Guru Nanak laid any foundation of Sikhism. It is the people after them arrest their teaching into religion, so-called organizations which get into the name of some religion.
Maharaji, 2 questions. When we think about you and when we look at you and we cry, what does that mean? There's been a lot of crying going on.
But it depends upon the person who's crying. How do you ask me about it? Am I so awful that you look at me and start crying?
No, I mean, even before I saw you, I would think about you and cry, and I didn't know why.
Then try to know why. It should make us happy to see each other. Why should we cry?
Well, sometimes people cry. Crying can be for sadness or happiness, or crying can be for a lot of reasons.
I don't know what type of your cry is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Master, thanks for helping me to know where I stand on this path. It's said that association with one's master is association with truth. And I hope that at some point on the path that I'll be able to know a little bit more even. Your master once wrote that the soul is hungry and current is its food, and it gets no rest without the current. And in Sarabachan, it's said that if you're trying to get now, you can make all the effort you want, you'll never get anywhere unless the master is pleased with you. And I've heard you say to another disciple that the master is never displeased with any disciple because he understands where the disciple stands. But I also feel that in another way, in some way, that the master is not really pleased with me as a follower. And I was thinking, and it seems like the master's pleasure is like this irresistible object that he holds out to the disciple and then gives the disciple a taste of it. And then when the disciple reaches out for it, he tosses it in the disciple's meditation and he has to dive real deep for it. Just yesterday you told another disciple that that what they should do would be to burn in the master's love until they weren't anymore. And I'm just wanting to ask if we have to reach that sublime state in order to feel the master's pleasure and to have his embrace.
Well, brother, master is never displeased with us. If he is displeased with us, why should he put us on the path? Once he has sown a seed of love and devotion for the Father in us, how can he be displeased with us? He always likes that tree to give fruit. He always likes that tree of love to grow and grow and grow to become one with the Father. How can he be displeased with us? we are not displeased with ourselves. And we become conscious of our own weaknesses, our own limitations, our own handicaps, our own failures, and we think Master is not pleased with us. There's no harm in even blaming Master for that. But actually it is ourselves who are becoming conscious and conscious every day of our limitations. We should not try to analyze ourselves too much. We should do our best, then leave the result to the Father.
Sometimes I feel like I'm seeking some sort of consolation or comfort. I feel like that all the time, that I need a lot of comfort that I want.
Well, brother, we always need support. We always like to lean on somebody. We always need support. We have to walk. Sometimes we have to hold the stick. Sometimes we place our hand on somebody's shoulder. Sometimes we absolutely lean on somebody to walk. But we have to walk. Better to walk without leaning on anybody at all. But we will have to walk. There's no harm in leaning on also. But it's always better to walk on our own legs.
Master, for years now, it feels that I've just been rocking up and down regarding my meditation. And more often than not, I find that I've either spent most of my time either in sleep or so restless that I don't put in the required time. So that for the rest of the day, I'm in a very negative mind, or carrying a feeling that I'm missing the mark. Sometimes if I'm tired and nap during the day, I'll wake up with a shock that my life is just wasting away. And the older I get, the stronger this becomes. And it's directly connected with because I'm not meditating well enough or long enough. I just carry so much guilt, and it makes me unhappy, and I want to stop this cycle because it's reflecting on my family and on anyone that's close to me.
Sister, there's too much analyzing ourselves doesn't lead us anywhere. We are always analyzing ourselves, our love, our devotion, our depth, our meditation, our efforts. We're always analyzing. And ultimately we become psychic for nothing. Leave everything to the Father and do your best. Give your best to meditation and then leave everything to Father.
Even when it's 5 minutes, Maharaji, 15 minutes?
Even you can give 20 minutes, it is okay, but leave everything to Father. But don't unnecessarily curse yourself. Don't carry the guilt with you. Carry the effect of bliss and happiness with you. And look forward to more opportunity to attend to meditation.
Okay.
Take a positive approach rather than a negative approach.
Okay. And I had something frighten me a little last year. I had surgery in October. And when I woke from the anesthesia, the pain was so phenomenal. It was so engulfing my whole body that before they could give me the drug to take the pain away, I tried to do my meditation, and I would think of 2 words, and then I would just be burned by this horrible pain. And I wasn't even dying. And for 3 days, this dreadful pain went on until the healing process helped me move away from that intense fire. And then afterwards, I felt so bad and guilty because I wasn't able to have the strength of mind to be able to become centered at that time, which I would think is close to death.
Sister, it was not in your hand at all.
I know.
Nothing was in your hand.
But my death won't be either.
But anyway, you didn't die, don't worry.
And Master, I asked a friend of mine, what is that? And many people told me, they said, it's because your mind is so weak, that's just indicative of where you are. You're just so scattered in the world, you're not strong enough to pull yourself in.
No, after operation, sometime it does happen, you see.
Where you feel abandoned?
No, well, many types of operations are there. Some sort of pain is always there. Some people do suffer for that. There's nothing to feel frightened about these things.
I just felt very alone, like you weren't there. I'm sorry to say that.
We are all alone, don't worry. Just attend to meditation.
Okay, thank you.
Maharashi, how much free will do we have? I realize this is an old question.
What do you mean by much?
As we go through our lives, is it better to, I know there are different extremes that one can go to when you're, the way you handle the events in your life. And
I personally feel that we should be grateful to the Lord that we have no free will. Otherwise, God knows what mess we would have made. It's better the things are in His hand, and we are just tools to go through them. If they have been in our hand, what mess we would have created in this. Whatever limited is in our hand, we are already suffering for that.
So
we have limited free will.
So we ought to always feel like the humble servant to the Lord and,
yes.
and be.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beloved Sadhguru, there are a few questions I'd like to ask you. The first concerns our attitude during meditation. There seem to be two basic attitudes which are possible. Either one is a sort of male aspect, the male attitude, in other words, the mind becomes one-pointed like a dagger trying to pierce a piece of paper, in other words, very sharp, an effort is being made. And the second attitude possible is that of the female attitude, the receptive attitude, in other words, opening oneself so that one can allow the influence and the love of the Guru to be felt. Which one should we try to adopt?
Any attitude is okay.
So there's no preferable attitude, the sort of receptiveness
You
is
can
better.
make your mind receptive to His grace, that also comes to the same thing. You can make your mind concentrate to be in touch with the Shabad, that also comes to the same thing. There's no difference.
I asked the question because I've heard that when we make an effort, sometimes we block. If you make too much of an effort, you block by making that effort.
No, there's no difference at all.
The second question concerns my children. They're very attracted, possibly due to my influence, towards Sant Mat. And they ask some sort of assurance that they too one day may be able to follow this path. And when I give them the assurance, they're not very satisfied with it. They want something more secure, something surer. Can I give them from you some sort of assurance that they mustn't worry, that they don't have to worry?
How can you give my assurance?
Well, by asking you directly.
The Lord knows best. But it depends upon Him who's marked, who's to follow the path.
What should I tell them then?
It's everything in the hand of the Father. Only Father can give us assurance. Tell them to pray to the Father to give them assurance. We can't give ourselves assurance even for tomorrow, whether we are going to live or not. What assurance we can give to others for their life to come, what they are going to do?
The third question, beloved Sadhguru, has got to do with the function of Kal. Kal is described, like again today, very negatively in Sant Mat as a negative power. But it seems to me that he's also got a very positive function, similar to the function of Satan in the Christian religion. Satan's second name is Lucifer, the light bringer. In other words, through the suffering that we have, as the professor mentioned, we get drawn closer to the Lord. So Kal isn't really then a purely negative being, he's also got then a very positive function. Isn't it important perhaps to see this as well, to see him as an aspect of the divine?
Kal has a positive function to keep the souls tied down to the creation, To call it a negative function and a positive function, these are just comparative words. It hardly makes any difference. But his duty is to keep the souls tied down to this creation. That whatever we do in this creation, we must reap its result. Whatever you sow, so shall you reap. That is the function of the call, to see. That pay to Caesar what's due to the Caesar. Nobody should escape without paying to the Caesar what's due to the Caesar. That is his function.
And it seems to me, Sadhguru, that when we attach too much importance to Kal or worry too much about the negative influence he could have on us, that we give him somehow more power.
We should not worry at all about Kal. We should worry more about our positive approach by meditation. Kal is automatically taken care of if we are tending to our meditation. Why should we worry about Kal? A noble citizen, good citizen, never worries about the police, never worries about the jails. Only the criminals are always worried about the jails and the police tortures. Good citizens never worry about the police. So we should not worry about the Kal at all. We should only attend to our meditation.
Another question, Sadhguru, it has now to do with the question of guilt. This has arisen sometimes during discussions that many of us feel guilty because you say always that we should do our best, but no matter how much we do, we never feel as if we're really doing our best. We can always do more, at least that's the feeling that we have. And when we start on the path, originally what happens is that we would like to be just as you are. We'd like to be perfect. We'd like to be able to shower love and grace and joy on other people. And when we rise up in the morning and think of the day ahead, we say, well, this is how I'm going to live today. I'm going to do nothing to harm anybody. I'm going to try to live a perfect day. And then by the time we go to bed in the evening, we've heard so many people and said so many wrong things that we go to bed with a heavy heart and a feeling of guilt. And this goes on for...
At the most you can analyze in the evening before you go to bed and what you could avoid today of hurting others, which you are not going to repeat again tomorrow. That also you can take a positive approach. These are the aggressions which I have done today. This I could easily avoid it, and I am not going to be victim of these things again tomorrow. That will give you a better guidance for tomorrow.
Sadhguru, I've seen a certain evolution in my personal attitude towards guilt, and I think it's something that might be common with many satsangis. It's that the first attitude was going to bed with this feeling of guilt, and then afterwards I realized that it was no good hating myself or hating this negative side of myself.
There's no sense in hating. You see, our problem is that we analyze ourselves too much. We have nothing else to do, so we'll go on analyzing our small little feelings every day, whole day. Rather than wasting that time on ourselves, we should turn to our meditation. We should have a positive approach. I'm not going to repeat this mistake again tomorrow.
What actually happens, Master, is that once we come to St. Mat, at least that's my personal experience, we suddenly realize that all this guilt isn't necessary, and then something else happens. We start
worry ourselves. We have to keep ourselves straight. We have not to repeat those mistakes again and again. We have to correct ourselves, but we must take a positive approach.
Sadhguru, my experience is that what makes us take this positive approach is the love that you create in us towards you. Because if we really love you, then we don't want to do anything that goes in contradiction with this love. So this is the thing that guides us on the path afterwards.
That love will come by meditation itself.
A question to close also, to answer all the questions, Sadhguru. It seems that all these questions that we ask lead us in one direction. Namely, that what you're trying to do is to point out to us that too much theory is not at all the purpose of Sant Mat. And there seems to be a split between belief and faith.
Well, Sant Mat has no theory at all. It has only practice. Sant Mat is to be experienced. Theory is only to understand. Then we close the theory, then we have to experience it by attending to meditation.
Thank you, Sadhguru.
I have one request and one question. I want to ask you for the quality of right distinction and right decide, and also the power to to follow this right desire. So my question is, you told me I must prepare myself for initiation by visiting the satsangs and also by reading books. Can you tell me, please, what some certain books I have to read? I have read all the books translated in German and in Greece. So please tell me some certain book to...
Read any books you like.
It's my decide?
Every book speaks the same language. Read any books you like.
Thank you, Master. Thank you for your grace. Last one.
Master, someone asked me to ask this question. Dear Master, there's a stone in my heart, and I cannot talk to you personally. But anyway, I would like you to know that after 10 years of initiation, I still sometimes use drugs, and I am not strong enough to refrain from them. So I would like to have your help, Radhaswami.
Well, brother, if after initiation and after 10 years of meditation we won't leave drugs, then what can anybody do? We have to start after leaving the drugs. No question of using the drugs after initiation. Initiation won't help at all unless we are very steadfast. Our foundation is there. If foundation is not there, there's no sense in building over it. We have to build on a rock, not on a sand. The whole building is useless unless the foundation is there. He should leave the drugs.
Thank you, Master. Maharaji, you've talked to us about the Master taking care of our needs, and you've given examples of Christ feeding the doves, and yet the Lord leaves a lot of people to go hungry and they starve to death in this world, and yet we are devotees of the Master, so we have special attention and concern of the Master to take care of us. Can you tell us, Master, what the Master considers our needs are?
You see, the question is that, brother, we have to go through our destiny. It's already destined what we have to go through. Whether you care for or don't care for it, that makes hardly any difference at all. Whether you pray for those things, whether you don't pray for them, you will get what is destined to get. So why not leave it to the Father to give us what is in our destiny? Why not attend to meditation that we get at least a strong willpower to go through the destiny without losing any balance?
What worries me about the destiny is if the destiny is based on my past actions in previous lives.
That's right.
This is what worries me.
That is right. You see, destiny is always based on the past and previous lives, no doubt. But present meditation helps us to go through that destiny cheerfully. Present attitude towards meditation helps us to go through the destiny cheerfully. So this is also a positive approach.
And there's the worry. There's a lot of energy being expended by me, probably others also, on thinking about physical needs of the future.
We should plan rightly. We don't say that we have to absolutely close our eyes to our physical needs. But we will get what is destined to get. We have to put an effort, but then leave the result to the Father. Not worry about the results.
The reason is that my physical possession, my material possessions from initiation till today have been getting less and less and less all the time, and I'm wondering where it's going to rise.
Because you refuse to work. You don't want to work. That's also not a right approach. It just depends, you want to live on your capital. You don't want to work. You should also work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yesterday at the meeting, you said that we were all alone. And
We were all?
you said to my friend that not to worry, that we are all alone in this world. And I wanted to know, what exactly did you mean by that? I thought that you were always with us.
You see, don't try to do hair separating unnecessarily. Father is with everybody. That way nobody is alone. Even if you wish to, Father will not leave you. Even when you are animal, Father is there. But in this world, we are all alone. Nobody belongs to us, we do not belong to anybody at all. Meaning we unnecessarily depend upon others. That so and so is mine, I belong to so and so. These are all karmic adjustments.
Is that why I always feel
See, our
lonely?
children come through us, but they don't belong to us. We come through our parents, but we don't belong to our parents. We have our own destiny to play in this creation. That is not in their hand.
Is that why that there's always like a loneliness in my heart?
That is what I'm trying to explain. We are born alone, we will go alone. And the one who belongs to us is the Father. Unless we go back to Him, we will not be able to overcome this feeling of loneliness. That is why no matter how many friends we have, how many good relations we have, how much wealth of the world we have, sit alone, you will feel you are all alone in this world. Having everything, you are all alone. There is no contentment within you. Still you are yearning for something which you do not know, which you cannot account for. That is the natural inclination of the soul towards its own origin. Unless we let it go to its own source, we will not be able to overcome this feeling of loneliness. So it belongs to the Lord. And we belong to the Lord. Lord belongs to us. So we can only overcome this loneliness when we go and merge back into Him, to our own source.
Thank you, Master.
Everybody gets peace when it goes back to its own source. The body is paining, it has all sorts of physical problems. It will get rest when it goes back into the five tattvas. Mind will get rest when it goes back into back into its own source. Soul will get peace when it goes back into the fold of the Father. Unless we go back to our own source, there is no peace at all. Neither to the physical body, nor to the mind, nor to the soul.
In the meantime, though, I just wanted to know, like, is there any attitude that you could take to live in the world and not be so taken by the loneliness?
You see, live in this world knowing the reality of the world. You have karmic adjustment with people, you have certain obligations, certain duties. Discharge them. But don't deceive yourself that somebody belongs to you or you belong to somebody and get lost in this creation. That's what the mystics tell us. Knowing the reality of the world, live in the world.
But don't be deceived.
Don't get lost in the world.
So that then maybe you could have a little fun, right? As long as you keep it straight in your head.
That is the main thing. I often give an example that bee which collects honey, if it sits in a corner, it will take the honey and fly with dry wings. If it jumps into the honey, the wings will get heavy. It will just drown and die. So have a fun by sitting on the side.
Okay.
Not get so much absorbed in the fun that you are drowned in those funs.
Thank you, Master.